In September 2014, we joined an experimental program for designers called 30 Weeks. We met with dozens of founders, investors, and general thought leaders, learning about how and why different companies were being built and funded. There was this golden metric of retention, how much time a user spends with your product, because if you could make something sticky, something that users wanted to keep checking and rechecking, there was a business to be made collecting all sorts of data and selling targeted advertising. Thinking about our own relationships with our phones and through other interviews, it was clear that people were feeling habitually overwhelmed from our hyperconnectivity. Could being any more connected actually make us any happier?
Welcome.
When we thought about our first encounters with the internet, it was confined to a specific room in the house, and there was a clear divide between being online and offline. But with the internet in our pockets 24/7, we found ourselves checking email and social media before even getting out of bed and unconsciously throughout the entire day. This is when the idea for the original Light Phone was born, your phone away from phone, encouraging you to leave the internet behind from time to time, an experience we call going light. The value of using a light phone isn't any new feature that we'd create, but simply the pleasure of being present in your own life when you don't have a smartphone. The light phone is designed to be used as little as possible. The original phone only made calls and was limited to 9 speed dials. Pitching the concept initially with just a piece of plastic and some Photoshop, we received a very polarizing reaction. People either really loved or really hated the idea of the light phone. It did, however, always lead to such interesting and deep conversations about being human and our relationship to technology. In May 2015, we launched a Kickstarter campaign. With a little bit of luck on our side, the campaign managed to pick up a lot of press attention and was shared all over social media. We definitely struck a chord. We then set off to make the light phone. It took about 18 months and a few $1 million in R&D before we'd begin shipping in January 2017. It was in fact no easy task to create a simple phone from scratch, and it was pretty unreal to see some of the first samples coming off that production line. The phone came packaged in a book of photographs, a reminder that going light is all about what you're able to experience when you're not glued to a screen. Listening closely to our early users, it was clear that people loved going light, and we saw that there was a lot of potential for a light phone that just had a full contact book, texting, and a few simple tools like an alarm. A phone that would make it easier to go light more often, or perhaps for good, replacing one smartphone altogether. We launched our second crowdfunding campaign in March 2018. The Light Phone 2 is still about the size of a credit card, but was now sporting a unique e-ink screen. We'd spend the next 18 months developing this new model, working closely with our backers to define what is a light phone, and more importantly, what it would never be. The Light OS is built around a customizable toolbox, and our optional tools prioritize intentional use and user privacy. There's also a dashboard website for managing everything. It's been so humbling to hear from everyone who's tried going light and had a profoundly positive lifestyle shift. We've been able to work on some really cool projects too, from a private high school where everyone, including the teachers, used only a light phone, to a campaign like Dear Tim or the Alliance of Big Tech. We also collaborated with Kendrick Lamar and Dave Free's PG Lang on a limited edition model. 5 years later, we're still producing and supporting the Light Phone 2 with meaningful updates, even as we've just introduced the new Light Phone 3, launching early 2025. In the past 10 years, we've seen this movement grow exponentially, and Light is proud to be a leading voice.
Hi, people of Light Phone. I really want to start my new life.
From the introduction of features like screen time to dozens of books, films, and countless articles covering all of the ways that smartphones are affecting our lives. We've gone from our initial plastic mock-ups to selling hundreds of thousands of light phones, creating a new kind of technology company, an alternative to the big tech conglomerates. We sincerely appreciate you helping us make the Light Phone a reality. Much love. Light.